I got a question from a loyal viewer, and the question is about cold approaching. And this question goes, hey, Harry, I've been having kind of bad luck lately, and I'm thinking about starting to practice cold approaches. Would love some tips. I'm really scared I'm just gonna get laughed away or be treated like a creep. I've been avoiding cold approaches for so long, but nothing else is working because when girls don't know you, they're not motivated to do anything with you, which is where I'm running into problems. So for starters, I'll be honest, in full transparency, in terms of my dating life, the majority of successes that I got was through online dating. Now, with that said, that does not mean at some point I didn't get good at being able to do stuff in person. Most of the time, though, even when doing that, it would be if I was at a party that either I was throwing or that people that I knew was throwing, then there would happen to be girls that were already there that knew my friend. So because of that, I could very easily just kind of go into being able to talk to them about stuff and move it that way, right? But that's not to say that cold approaching is not possible. It's definitely one of those things that you have to really be willing to face rejection, because you're gonna do a thing where you go out there and try to just talk to any woman. You don't know when you come up to these women if they are already in relationships, if you're their kind of guy, if they're having an off day and don't want to be bothered, or if they genuinely would like you to talk to them, but maybe they're not giving off the demeanor that indicates that they're open to conversation. So there's a lot of unknowns that go into cold approaching, and when you do it, you're gonna get rejected. It's bound to happen. A woman's not gonna want to talk to you, and you could get really butthurt by that, right? But here's a little strategy that I came up with early on that helped me immensely, because what happens is, as a guy, you're gonna go into these situations and you're gonna be putting all your eggs into this basket. This woman has to talk to me, and this one's gotta work out, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna be devastated. I believe in the technique instead of running into rejection, meaning that instead of going out there thinking this woman has to work or it's not gonna whatever, I'm gonna feel some kind of way, I go into it thinking this one's bound to fail. In fact, I'm gonna fail a lot of times. In fact, I need to have a goal of talking or trying to approach 50 women in the hopes that at least one, maybe two of them legitimately want to talk to me. And I found that by doing that, rejection now becomes part of the process. And I'm talking about this honestly because in terms of, I have a photo booth business, and so I'm starting to reach out to vendors in LA to talk about partnering with me in order to be a vendor, meaning that they can basically recommend me and my services to other people that are coming through them for weddings and parties and stuff like that, right? But I know that as a strange, unknown entity that I'm probably gonna get rejected. Now, if I were to just reach out to one entity and be like, hey, so you're a vendor and I wanna get with you and I hope we can work together, and it doesn't work out, oh my God, I'm devastated. But I know how the sales game works, which is that you need to get yourself in front of a lot of prospects in order to get some substantial, significant success, okay? And so this is the same as true when you're approaching women. You cannot assume that you're gonna approach one woman and hope that one or two that you approach is gonna work out. Chances are it's probably not. But you make the game whereby it's like, okay, if I approach 50 women, how many can I get of those 50 that are gonna wanna have a conversation back with me? We're not trying to push them into a relationship or not like that. We're talking about which ones will talk to me and then which ones will give me their number to hit them up later. And then the game is, okay, the goal this week might be, I'm gonna hit up 50 women and I hope to get 2 or 3 hits. And the next week I'm gonna try to get 3 or 4, and then 5 or 6 and get each and every time. But the point is that you make rejection part of the game. If you do that, then you're gonna focus less on the rejection and more so on, I gotta hit the number 50. The number 50 women is the number I have to approach in order to hopefully get some semblance of success. That is a realistic number. I can do that. Because within 50 people, 1 or 2 women will probably talk to you and give you the number. That's typically the math how this works, right? And so even with that, beyond that, better ways to ensure success is to go in using what women do, which is passive language. Think about when women approach you, right? They don't usually just come up and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. Usually they'll try to stand near you. They'll try to make some kind of comment out into the world that they hope you grab onto. And so you can take some of those techniques in a different way and do that when you're approaching women at a mall or in public or whatever, right? So here's 3 things you can do. For starters, if you're really starting out on doing this, go to stores. Go to stores where there are women sales people there that have to talk to you, because they have to, you can ask them about getting something on the shelf or inquire about a certain product that's there, but they have to talk to you. But this is important because it starts to get you in the practice of being less afraid of approaching women and having a conversation with them. Now, again, in stores, you're not trying to get with these women. You're just going there to practice. If you've ever seen like the Karate Kid movies of the old, or even like the Karate Kid series that's on TV now, I forget the name of it at the moment. But the point is that, like, yeah, the whole wax on, wax off thing, that was designed so that way when they get in a fight, they have this motion down. And so a lot of approaching is just getting the motion down of approaching. So when you go to stores, you just go to female store clerks and start asking them questions, and just do that repeatedly to where your brain will subconsciously use that training to make you less afraid of approaching women. Because women, in the grand scheme of things, they shouldn't be these big scary things that freak us out when we try to approach them. Rejection hurts more than women actually hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Just because our egos can't take that. But if you get in the practice of just approaching women in stores, then you'll find that you get more at ease with that. So when you go to approach women that aren't in stores, that are out there in the general public, it's going to be less nerve-wracking, all right? Beyond that, 2 great things you can do. Number 1, ask women for directions. Like, be out and about, and if you're in a mall, for example, you're walking around, you can just stop a woman. Hey, I don't mean to bug you, but like, I'm trying to find such and such store. I'm trying to find the food court. I'm trying to find the bathroom. And then from there, they'll answer, oh, it's this direction. You say, okay, that's great. Oh, by the way, what's your name? Oh, thank you so much for helping me out. I really appreciate it. Hey, you know what? And then just go into a conversation. Don't try to, if you're meeting people in public, they're probably going to do other things. So you don't purposely try to make the interaction last any longer than like 2 to 3 minutes max. And then towards the end of it, you can start to get a feel for if she's wanting to continue that conversation or not. If not, just say, hey, well, thanks again. Appreciate you giving me the directions. By the way, this is going to be kind of weird, but like, hey, like, can I get your number? Or hey, let me get your number real quick. I'd love to like talk to you outside of this or whatever, right? Now, again, you might get a high number of rejections off doing that, but it's more so at this point, getting into the practice of that, because you want it to bug you less and less. When you first start practicing this, and you get those no's from women that don't want to give you the number, it's going to hurt. After like the 20th of those, it becomes just part of the process, but it doesn't bug you as much because it goes to be less of an ego thing and more of just like, okay, well, maybe she just wasn't for me, or she didn't feel me, or whatever, or she's got a boyfriend, or she's busy, or I'm a strange guy that's trying to talk to her. I get it. But yeah, going up to women and asking for directions about things is a great way to disarm them and put down their shield, because at that point, they're not thinking you're trying to hit on them. They're thinking that you're just trying to get directions from them. Now, in the process of them giving you directions, you can start saying some funny stuff or commenting about them of some kind, and then that can get them into letting them feel you and your energy, and then from there, you can decide if you want to go further with that, right? Which goes into the second thing, which is when you're approaching women, inquire about something that she has on her person or that she's carrying or wearing, all right? This is a very, very easy technique because women will be, again, disarmed when you're coming up to them and not trying to overtly compliment them on their bodies and stuff like that, right? So you're walking in the mall, you're walking in public, you see a girl that you think is very attractive, you kind of go up to her, hey, I don't mean to bug you, but just real quick, like, I need to know where you got that shirt. Like, that shirt looks amazing. Or, oh, I just wanted to comment you on like those earrings. Those earrings look amazing. Like, where'd you get those from? How'd you pick those out? Now, this is great because I did a previous episode where I talk about that women that are really attractive get complimented on their looks all the time, and you need to be the guy that is not complimenting women on their looks ever when you first meet them, all right? But complimenting them on something that they're carrying or that they're wearing on their person, that's a decision that they had to use their brain to make and decide on. And so you inquiring about that is basically saying, hey, you made a good choice. You were smart to pick that. I want to pick your brain because your brain seems like a smart brain to pick on about this thing that you got. And then from there, you're fine. Women are going to be much more open. I've literally just walked around and like passed by women and said, hey, just want to know, that is a great perfume. Smile perks up. Oh my God, thanks so much. I got it from this place, blah, 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 blah. I'm really glad you like it. They don't know me, but they like that compliment. They picked it out. They recognize that I'm recognizing the effort they put in to find this thing. And so you get more women that are open to now talking to you when you go about that right. Just something as simple as like, hey, I don't mean to stop in your day, but those are some really, really nice shoes. I haven't seen those before. Like, I'd love to know, like, where'd you get those? Like, those are amazing. Oh, these things? Oh, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. Like, they get you in her graces. From there, you can go on, hey, okay, thanks for telling me that. I really appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. By the way, you seem like you have a really nice, like, aura about you. Like, like, what are you doing? Just walking around today? What'd you come to the mall for? Boom. Now you're asking her about herself. And here's the key, guy, because guys make this mistake, is they'll do the initial approach pretty good, and then they want to talk all about themselves. And a woman's like, I just met this guy 5 seconds ago, and now he's trying to give me his life story. I've seen so many guys do this where they meet a girl, it's like, oh, well, I'm a guy at this company, and I do blah, 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 blah. Just met her. And I can read people's faces. I'm looking at the woman like, the woman just has this face like, God, I don't want to be rude and interrupt this guy, but he's just so boring and I don't know him and he's talking about stuff I don't care about people I don't care about. So when you're making these approaches and you're inquiring about something she's wearing, keep the conversation on her. And then at the end you can say, that's great, blah, blah, well, you know, my name's so-and-so. It was really nice meeting you, you know. Hey, I don't want to be too rude, but like, I would love to like get your number and maybe like connect sometime outside of this when you're not busy. Is that cool? Boom, on from there. Now again, your success rate with a cold approach, it's not gonna be all that great at the beginning, but if you practice it and don't take it personally, you will get better over time and you'll be surprised at the number of numbers that will be thrown your way because you are that guy that was able to develop this skill. So hopefully this helps you out.
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high class man. You a high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high